Alright, when we finished up last time, we got everything working so that you can see that it doesn't look like much like we're moving, but you can see that the words change so that we know we're going back and up and down. So now we're going to go do this header section next. So let's go ahead and bring up our code. I've moved the CSS out of the way for now because we need to add some HTML. What I want to have is I want to have this text on the left-hand side, and I want to have a picture on the right-hand side, and these side by side. Alright, so I need to add a picture, but I also need to have it inside a block level element. So we already have this article on the page, or in the header. So that's the first child. And of course these inside the article are the children of the children. So we want to go ahead and add another child in addition to article. And for that we're going to use a block level element used for images, and that is called figure. And then inside figure, we're going to go ahead and add a picture. So I'm just going to type img and then tab, and it's going to automatically put in image source. And we move this over because I need to get the name of what we're using. So we're going to be using the logo for this. So logo.jpg. So I'm going to say, for here, images, because it's an images folder, / logo.jpg, which is this file right here. And then I'm going to add one more thing to it, and that's going to be the alt tag. And alt tag is important because that is what is told to people who are looking at this through a screen reader, so they're really listening to the page. And I'm just going to put Trident sandwich logo. Okay. And all of that image is going to be silver. So inside a figure. So we have header, which is inside the wrapper, so that's a child of wrapper. The article is a child of header, and also figure is a child of header. H1, H2, those are children of article, nothing to do with figure. Alright, so there we go. So if I do File, Save All, and refresh, we can see that now the picture shows up. But I don't want this picture here, I want this picture over here, side by side. But that figure tag is a block level element, so this goes all the way across the page, and this goes all the way across the page, and we need them to be side by side. So that's our next styles that we're going to be doing. So it's time to bring back the CSS now that we've added that HTML. I'm going to move this back over too. Okay, so what I want to do is, so here is the header. So I'm going to between header and section, so I want to keep these in order. Not that the browser cares, but someone looking at your code later would care very much. So in the header, I have a figure. Okay, that's that block level element, and I want to go ahead and change that to float right. Alright, so we go ahead and do float right, and then we'll do File, Save All, and we'll refresh. Boom. And now it's off to the right. But you see, it's down on the bottom there, and the problem is this is still going all the way across, because remember, this is an article, and article is a block level element, so it's taking up the entire thing. We need to get that smaller so this can fit up in that space. Alright, so let's work on that too. So we know that we have this header figure. Also, to the top above it in the HTML is header article. Alright, and let's go ahead and float that to the right. Oh, what am I doing? I got my left and right backwards. All right, we don't want that. Okay, we want to float this. Oh, that was, yeah, articles to the right too. We want to float this to the left. I guess I should look at the instructions. File, save all, refresh. There we go. Everything is looking much better now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and change, since this is 1300 across here, I have to move my thing over. 1300 is not as big as this screen. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the size of each of those elements. So we're going to make each one 610 pixels. Okay, and then this one is width, and then 610 pixels. Alright, so now so that's 1220, and then 1300 is the size. That shouldn't really change anything the way it looks. Uh-oh, it did. What's going on here? So let's go ahead and figure this out. Let's go ahead and inspect this element and see what's going on. So I right mouse click and do inspect. The problem I have is in the header. So there's the wrapper, there's the header, there's article. So there's the article and there's the figure. Ah, see that extra brown stuff on there? Where is it? So there's the article, and you see that's not overlapping, so we shouldn't move it down. But then we look at the figure. Ah, so the problem is that the header figure is adding what to it? It's adding 40. You can't even see that. Let me move it in. It's adding 40 pixels of margin on either side of these. So what we want to do is let's just get rid of the margin completely, and I can even test that. All right, I've selected the figure. If I go up here, I can say margin 0, and there you go. See, it fixes it. So the margin that is automatically placed on there, because the figure tag, the browser automatically puts that extra space, we can go ahead and get rid of that. So there's header figure, and then I'm going to do margin 0, and file, save all. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of what I've done here. Oops, refresh. I saved it. Oh well. Alright, so now that fixes that issue right there. The last thing I'm going to do is we're going to make it a rounded picture. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to do that by changing the property of the image tag itself. So let's go back into our code. Okay, so there is header figure, and what we want to do is go to the child, or what's inside figure. So we'll say header figure image, img. Okay, so you can see that header figure image, and for this one we're going to do a border first, and we want it to be 1 pixel, and we want it to be solid, we want it to be black, and then we want to go ahead and change that border by doing a border radius, and we're going to take a border radius and we're going to give it 50%. which is going to make it an oval shape. Alright, so we'll do File, Save All, and then refresh. Boom. Very nice. Okay, now everything is fitting side by side, looking exactly as we want it to go. Okay.